Welcome to Beyond the Front Door podcast with Lindee and Rhea at Peak Properties. We are real estate agents in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and we bring you stories that make you laugh, cry, cringe, and inform you. Come on in. We put the real in real estate.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Beyond the Front Door podcast with Lindee and myself.
Podcast.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like.
Well, I'm going to have Jory's last name right, so at least I got that. Who we have joining us today is Jory from Green Top Roofing and Rebecca Hess from Remax Capital Properties. Thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Of course. We hope you guys are enjoying the summer. It's been kind of a hot one the last few days, but we've gotten some reprieve recently. Huh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, just quickly before we get going on introductions, what all did you do during that heat wave? How did you spend your time?
Try to be as efficient as possible on the roofs and wear a beach hat, so
a beach hat.
So you don't get sunburned. That's kind of my secret.
Is that what we need to be looking for? Is Jory out on a roof?
You'll see me up there with a white hat reflecting as much sun as possible because it gets hot on those roofs.
I'll bet that is really hot up there.
But
you were working.
Oh yeah. We've been pretty busy with new construction and then other roof certifications for insurance agents, Rebecca here and yourself as well. So been out and about doing that. So
that's great.
Did you see any damage from all these crazy storms we've had over the last month?
It's been very sporadic. I'd say Burns got hit harder than Cheyenne. Okay. And still there was about 2 houses right in a row that I looked at that were destroyed.
Wow.
And then the 3rd, 4th, and 5th house on the same street were not even touched.
Wow.
Interesting.
So, it's very... Mother Nature's a weird thing. So, And then
very selective,
and then as it moved into Cheyenne, it, very hit and miss. Some of my other competitors that I talked to saw the same thing. Saw one that would be bad and claim-worthy, and then the next one would be just perfectly fine. So, just interesting how it all works.
Awesome.
Well,
it is interesting.
I missed the heat wave. Oh, I did. My husband, we call him Captain America, ran a triathlon in Utah, so I went out and supported him. Oh. So we just missed it, which was nice. And then I came home and went right to a youth conference we had over at LCCC. So I've been with 250 teenagers for the last 3 days. Got done at 9 o'clock this morning. It's been fun.
What do you do with LCCC?
Well, we rented the space out there, so we had the dorms. We had all the kids, and I spent the night in the dorms, and we had classes over there. We had a dance, and some speakers come in and talk to them. And
who's we? What's
so? This is my church.
Okay.
Church. But we had people from Cheyenne, kids from Cheyenne, Scottsbluff, Wheatland, Torrington, even as far as Sidney, Nebraska came. We had about 250 kids. So
that's secondary? What I've been
doing. Yeah, I've been doing that for 3 days. 250 teenagers. So
and it's all done.
Yeah, it's done. We ended this morning at 9, got them all checked out and cleaned out of their rooms, and
then you came here.
And I came here. Yeah.
Wow.
So I haven't enjoyed the heat wave. I haven't even been a part of it. I've been kind of lost in my own little stuff going on. But.
What part of Utah?
So my husband ran a race over in Heber, right over by Jordanelle, the reservoir over there. It was beautiful. Okay. By Park City, not too far from Park City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I grew up in Utah. We have family out there still, and it was his cousin who talked him into doing it with him, and then his cousin couldn't get work off, so my husband got roped into it, and he did amazing. He was great.
Oh, good for him.
Cheered him on, but. So I was out there, and I guess so he had gone there and then passed and came this way, and I just missed it. I didn't have to sit through much heat out there. It was pretty nice.
That is nice.
Yeah.
Utah is beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Yes.
It is beautiful. I will say, though, because I grew up in Utah, and being back just for a couple days up in the mountains, I was like, I'll take the wind any day over those mosquitoes, because there's mosquitoes everywhere.
Is there really?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I'd have thought of that.
I'll take the wind here any day.
Is it humid? Yeah. Is that why?
Over by there's mosquitoes everywhere. Because I remember growing up and there was always mosquitoes. When we were out and about in the summers and stuff, always mosquitoes, especially when it got cooler in the evenings. We were by a reservoir, so it was really bad over there.
Sure.
But man, I just thought, all the times I complain about wind, I would rather complain about wind than mosquitoes. Because that was 100%. Annoying. Yeah.
I will say, who did we have on here? Isn't there somebody from Texas that was talking about the bugs in Texas? Oh. Somebody I feel like was, and I'm like, I'll take wind over bugs
anytime,
any day.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially big ones that fly and charge you.
Yeah, for sure.
we don't want that.
Yeah. Mosquitoes don't like me.
No?
Why?
So naturally they just don't.
I just am like sitting there and everyone's like being eaten alive. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Nothing. Oh, no.
Good for you.
I wish for that. Take my dog for a walk and I get eaten alive.
That's how my husband is. He's like welting up and I'm just like,
Nothing. We have to find out what your secret is.
I don't know. It might be my blood type. I've like looked up things like, what is it?
What is it? That's interesting. Yeah.
Well, I guess if we can just get started and have you guys each tell us a little bit about yourselves, like how long you've lived in Cheyenne, where you came from, what your career's been up to, your current career, and a little bit about your family, if you wish.
Well, born in Omaha, raised in Lincoln, Nebraska. Got an opportunity to come out here with Green Top Roofing. Our headquarters are in Loveland. It's a family-owned and family-oriented roofing company. So 4 brothers and a sister kind of run the companies there. And I met a friend through Wyoming Hemp Company, actually, in Torrington. Connected me with them. Interviewed, January of 24. And I got offered the job shortly after and had full trust in the leadership and everything there. And was able to make a big life leap to Cheyenne and run their Wyoming division. And just kind of jumped in head first and trusted in their process and how they do things. And now that I'm the branch manager here, it's just been, Cheyenne's a lot like Lincoln growing up. And my family's from small town Nebraska, but like Lincoln's very homey and very friendly people, and wasn't a huge difference in terms of Lincoln to Cheyenne. So it's been great. And then I've just kind of, put myself into the community in every aspect I can.
Just true. I see him everywhere. You've done good.
So we're a community-driven roofing company. So we always value every community that we service. We want to dive in head first and be a part of it and support it as best we can. So we're national partners with the chamber as well. And this town's chamber is probably the most active I've ever been a part of. And in a previous life, I helped with the governor's office in Nebraska. So it definitely was eye-opening to see a chamber so active and so cool, and everybody's been very welcoming to us. So it's been a heck of a journey. I can't believe it's a year and a half in now, but it's been phenomenal. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, very thankful.
You've been I've seen you at Thankful Thursday. I've seen you at Fridays on the Plaza. You definitely are making your rounds, supporting all of these organizations.
Yeah, for sure. And sponsorships, we're always trying to sponsor some things if we can. Obviously, being a new branch, we have to be cognizant of our budget and everything, but we do quite a bit. We'll be the sponsor for the PIP luncheon here this next month, one of them, the silver sponsor. So that's great. And our owner should be there. Hopefully, Adam, you have to be there. But anyway, so and then the annual chamber banquet, Adam will be there this Friday. So
wonderful.
Yep.
I think there's something about when you really believe in the leadership of an organization, it's more comfortable to make the leap.
100%.
I can relate to that because it's because of Deb and Corey that I made the leap to move down here from Gillette about 5 years ago. And you got to have some confidence, I guess, in who you're partnering with, who you're working with. And
absolutely.
That's really great that you have that.
Yeah. And Brian and Adam are the main owners, and then their siblings work for them as well and work with them. And, we're a team, and it's just a great feeling. So
great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think you and I connected right after you got into town.
Yep. I tried to schedule as many meetings with Realtors as I could to just kind of introduce ourselves. And, once we get a shot, we think our customer service is second to none.
I would agree with that. You've done a great job. And we did connect right after you got here. And I was really impressed with how eager you were. That's right. But you really have lived up to that. I have been very, very impressed with the customer service. And it's been a great partnership for me.
Yeah,
yes.
We appreciate that, and we'll be growing our team soon. We are looking for a salesman to join our team, so that's going to be. It's hard to hire right now for kind of everybody, but we just want to make sure it's the right fit because this community means a lot to us. So we don't want to have anybody that doesn't represent our values and our company culture. So
Actually, I think that's how I met you, is because of you, Rebecca, and because of our transaction. I think that's how that came about.
Yeah, he's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have lots of high praise for Jory and what he's done up here for the company.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sounds good. I tend to talk with my hands, so if I start hitting microphones or stuff, you may have to just be...
I do too.
Yeah, I'm a hand talker, so
okay. Talk
I
away.
apologize. So we came to Cheyenne about almost 22 years ago. My husband was active duty Air Force, and we got stationed out here. And I tell people jokingly now, because I love Cheyenne and should be on a billboard shouting how awesome it is here.
Yes.
But when I first drove in on I-80 and saw Cheyenne, I thought, there's no way. We're out of here.
Yeah.
4 years, we're done. And we fell in love with it.
You and a lot of people.
Oh, we love it
say
here.
that, but then that's what happens.
Yeah, as soon as
It's not as pretty.
Yeah, I'm like, where are the trees? Where are the people? Where? Oh my gosh, I was just
What is this?
Yes, yeah. And here we are. My husband ended up finishing out his military career. He did 23 years in the Air Force, and he had actually spent 7 years commuting back and forth from Colorado. And when he was able to retire, he's like, I don't want to go anywhere. I love it here. So that's kind of where we stayed, and I love it too. He owns a small business now and is happy doing what he's doing. But we have 10 kids. Which I know it's a shocker even to myself that we did that. We, I don't know how we survived it, and are still married and happily married, but we did it. So we raised 10 kids here, and our youngest just graduated high school and is heading out on a church mission.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so we're going to be empty nesters here in September. She's heading to Lima, Peru for a mission. She'll be gone for 18 months.
Wow.
So really, truly empty nesters coming up, which is kind of crazy because we've had
So
a
how old is
house
your
full.
oldest?
My oldest is 30. He'll be 32 this year, and he is married. He's out in Utah. He's a sheriff's deputy out there, and I have him and his wife, and I have 2 granddaughters out there.
Okay.
And so total we have 7 grandkids, 1 on the way. And I've kind of got kids everywhere. North Carolina, I've got a couple here in Cheyenne, 1 over in Omaha. We've just they're kind of spread out, some in Alaska, but it was a great place to raise our kids, and it didn't take very long before we felt like this was our community. You know, we were both not from here originally, but man, it just took a few years. We're like, this is home to us.
Yeah.
So now I will say I do combat the wind and the weather and that. I go on a lot of vacations. That's what I work for. I'm like, I work so I can travel and go fun, see the beach a couple times a year, and then that kind of gets me through it. But we love it here. Absolutely love it here. And my kids have all kind of gone their own ways, but they love to come back home. This is home to them. So.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, and I have been with Remax for over 7 years. That's where I started with real estate, and have loved it. But real estate was always kind of something I wanted to do, and I worked for the school district before that. And then I was able to be in the school with my girls, my youngest 2, as they were going through school. And once they were done with elementary school, it was time for me to make a change, and that's what we did, and it's been great. So.
I think there's something to be said for parents, and I'm going to say moms, that, you know, going to work for the school district while your kids are in school is just a great solution to it, right?
It was such a great blessing.
Yes.
Yeah. Being right there, and they could come, you know, I was just always available, and it was great.
And then you're off when they're off.
Yeah.
You get the benefits that come with it. You know, it's just a great solution, I think, for so many parents to have that. So good for you. And then, and then you do at some point, your kids don't really want you around as much anymore, right?
True. Well,
And so you got to do
what I
something.
wanted to do. I
That's
was a
right.
librarian, and I loved that, and I loved the kids. But I'm like, oh, I'm really ready to do something for me.
Yeah,
And
good
I
for
love
you.
it, so, it's been good.
I love that.
Thank you. Been good.
Well, we invited you on because, Rebecca, you and I had a transaction together this spring. And so we were thinking we'd touch a little bit on fixer-upper houses and on roofs, because I worked with both of you on this transaction over in Bluffs Ridge is the name of the subdivision, right?
The Bluffs or
The
Bluffs?
Bluffs,
Ridge?
something like that.
Over there.
Yeah, is where this home was. And this home that we listed was in need of love, for sure.
Yeah.
But in such a great neighborhood. And I think, you know, for anybody that's listening out there, and especially I think for young people that are thinking it's not affordable to get into a home, I think sort of wrapping your head around purchasing a fixer-upper home, if you can, you know, if it can qualify, or if you can have the money down, or just starting off with a smaller home and building your way up. You know, it really is. And I think in Wyoming it is possible. Cheyenne, the market here maybe is a little higher than, I think we're a little comparable to Casper, would you say? In terms of like Casper and Cheyenne, I think maybe have similar markets.
I agree.
Yeah. And, you know, Jackson and Cody aren't really
Totally
we don't
different
count
ball game
them.
there. No, totally different ball game.
But I think in the rest of the state, young people can still purchase a home, and I think it still can be done here. But and the family that you represented that bought this home was a young family as well, right?
And they're adorable. Yeah, in fact, a couple little kids expecting another one.
Oh.
They had owned a home in Utah where they had come from, and done a little bit of work here, but he is really handy. So they really went into it with the mindset that they were okay to do some work.
Yep.
And I honestly think this house was a little overwhelming, even for them who went in with that mindset, because it did need a lot of work.
It needed a lot of work.
But I think when it came down to it, the thought of what it could be was so exciting for them. And then the location was just wonderful. You can't fix location, you know? You can't beat that. And so it was totally worth them going into it.
Yes.
Which was great. Yeah.
So one of the things I really like about that particular home, and like I was saying, there was another one on McHugh that got done, but the thing that I liked about it is for an older home, when you walked in, it still had an entrance.
Yes.
Right. And really the whole space, like when you walked in and you kind of got through the little entryway into the house. What I loved about it, even in the remodeled one over on McHugh, or this one that we did, you can do anything with that space. You can make it like a homework space. You can make it a library space. You can do really whatever you want with it. And I just love when older homes have entryways, because so many don't. So many you just open the door and you're in the living room,
or you're at the stairs right there, right? Yeah,
that's
there's no
right.
room. Yeah.
That was one of the fun
possibilities on this one, which is great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyway, it was and I guess I also want to talk to the point of pricing a home accordingly because of that, and that, understanding sort of the work that needs to be done to a home, and for any seller out there that has a fixer-upper home, selling it and pricing it accordingly, and
absolutely.
then buyers understanding that it's been priced accordingly. And
yes, because Rhea and I have talked over and over about buyers that come in and go, okay, well, this home needs this, so I'm going to offer $50,000 less, and you're like, they already priced it,
knowing that it needs
needs all of that. So we
can't do that.
Probably can't offer 40. I mean, you can, but
it's not going to pan out.
Well, and as an agent, do you find you're kind of in that area where you're like, well, let me just tell you really truly what I would say based on what it needs, but you don't want to be pushy either. You want your sellers or your buyers drive what they're going to do, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, let me tell you from my expertise what I'm seeing, and what this house, if they were going to put this, and what it would actually really cost you to buy.
Right.
So it's really about educating our buyers and sellers, and I don't always do a great job with that sometimes.
Sure.
But boy, being on the other end where you're selling a house and you get those lowball offers, you're like, we've already done this.
And then they say, yes, you do. And then they come in and they tell you all the things why it's low, because I'm giving you a low offer because it needs new electrical, it needs this, it needs this. And you're like, I know, but the price was
already set for that.
Because of that. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, and it does take education, and I do think we have so many great agents here in town that do a really good job of that. And I know that there's a lot of people out there who specifically are looking for
a deal,
investments and deals, and so you're going to get those offers no matter what. And I would assume,
and that's fine. We want them also.
Yeah,
I always am like, give me offers, so I have something to start
with. And I think sometimes it works. Yes. I don't blame them for trying, because I do think sometimes it works. But I think realistically, you've got to take into account the things that the seller has already anticipated is going to need to be done when they do the pricing. So.
Yes. How long was this home on the market when
not long.
No, that weekend.
Yeah. So see, that's the other thing, is that you have to keep that in mind. If it's been on the market, it's brand new. They're probably not going to just come down on the price right away. Now, if it sat for a while, maybe you could negotiate a little more.
Yeah, absolutely. And we knew, because we had looked at many houses, and we had looked at some that didn't need any work, but they really were open to doing something with some work and getting some sweat equity.
Getting the right location.
Yeah, and the right location. And so when this house, I think we were one of your first showings, right? They went in there, and they really, it only took them a couple hours to be like, let's do this. And so put in an offer. And so they were super excited about it. But I think having looked at other houses to see what they could have gotten for that kind of money helped them to understand where the pricing was. It was really competitive, I think, for the location and for the condition. I thought you did a great job pricing it. So if I remember right, I think we came in on contract pretty close.
Yeah.
We didn't come down too much on that. I think that's where we ended up, and I think it was pretty fair.
Yes.
On price. So.
Well, thankfully, so one of the things I did, because I wanted to make sure I really understood like what it was potentially going to appraise for in the current condition, and what it was going to cost. And so I had a couple of people that come over to take a look at the house that had more experience in that area than I did in terms of everything it was going to take to bring the house up to speed. And they gave me the number, and that's what we did. But I did take the time to do that. And then thankfully, I had some really amazing sellers who understood that and went ahead and listed it accordingly. You know, and that's really I think that every homeowner wants to make as much money as they can on their house. And I get it. We all do. We all want top dollar, but we also have to recognize the market and the condition of the home. Like it's just, you know.
And it had a great roof. other than a couple things. It really did.
Which is a big deal when you're going in and talking about repairs on a house. A roof can be very expensive. So that was something to take into consideration in the price we were at. Well, we know it's got a good roof. We know the roof is fine. So that's a huge
Well, and that's the thing. If you make those improvements on your homes, whether it's new construction or a remodel or just a selling of a house, if you want a good lid on it, you know, and it's important. So,
and Cheyenne is unique in that we have that roof clause in all of our contracts. I have met with other buyers coming in and they don't know, like, they're like, that's not how it is. Don't know. Where they're coming from. But here, you know, we're asking all of our sellers to have an insurable roof. And it's just because of the weather, you know.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Sort of the threat that we have here. So it was through that process that you asked Jory to do a roof inspection on the home, and that's actually where I met Jory. And and I'm hoping you can share a little bit about like the packages, or if it's just the one package, or how it works, because I just hadn't heard of a roofing company quite set it up the way that you do.
Yeah. So we have what's called a roof tune-up. So it is a $650 flat rate for our in-house repairman to come out, if it's deemed necessary. And on this roof there was basically exposed fasteners on the ridge, nails, some nail pops on some vents and stuff that was pushing the vents up. It was a class 4 Malarkey Legacy, so it was a great shingle, one of the best shingles in the industry. And so all that was fine. It's just we don't like to leave exposed nails, because wherever there's an exposed nail, the water could get in. So and then some of the vents were popped up, as my photographs show. But nothing crazy, and that's what I would consider the basic package, because it includes up to 15 shingles. And then we reseal all penetrations, make sure everything's sealed off, all the exhaust terminations, and all that on the entire roof for $650. That's kind of the base. Anything more than that, we kind of assess case by case scenario. If a whole slope looks like it had a problem, obviously that's higher than $650. But
so we've got one right now that you did for me, that you went out and inspected, and we're having that kind of situation. It's not gonna that package you just offered isn't gonna work for this.
No.
Right?
So this one for hers, are you talking about Nate's?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. So the chimney is wide open in that regard, so it does need a chimney cap, because it's not a functioning chimney, if I recall. So we can make custom caps. We have a company.
So you do that on chimneys, okay? So you don't have to call out a separate chimney person to.
Nope. And they're pretty affordable. They run around $250 to $300 typically, and it's a custom, really nice made chimney cap that won't rust. It seals. Our in-house repairman goes out and does that as well. And then on this one we had to add ventilation in order for the roof cert to go through, because the roof won't function properly if it's not ventilated.
Yes, tell us about ventilation. How is it expensive?
And oh my gosh.
And how important it is.
So if your house is in the city, obviously you'll have a final inspection. County, don't believe they do any final inspections like that. But you need intake and you need exhaust for that roof to function, so the air goes accordingly. And if you don't, shingles can dry out faster. If you don't have enough intake and you only have exhaust, you can create a reverse suction. So like it'll suck in moisture into the attic and stuff, which can cause mold, can cause a laundry list of other issues. So basically it's technically a 50-50 balance you're supposed to have of intake and outtake. And this home that we're working on, it had 5 exhaust vents on, and I believe it was 3,300 square foot roof roughly.
Wow.
And we have a little app. All roofers now use it. Lemanco makes an app where we can type in the square footage and which vent we're going to use. And then it kicks out how many we need to qualify for code. And it follows the International Building Code.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And
that
so
is awesome.
Nate's roof needed 12 to 15, and it only has 5 right now. And then it had no intake whatsoever. So as a company, we can't be confident just to say, hey, this roof is not going to leak for 3 to 5 years without proper ventilation, because it's just something that we have to be careful of, because if something were to happen, then it is on us to, you know, fix the issue. And
well, just to interrupt you for a second, I had a transaction where a new roof was put on a home like in the last few years, but there was what the sellers at the time had put extra insulation into the attic.
Spray foam, was it spray foam?
Yep. And then there was no ventilation.
Yep.
And I mean, they were just cooking,
yeah.
literally cooking up there, and the roof had to be completely replaced and ventilation put in.
It
typically
affects the wear of the
it does.
Span of the
so
roof.
Spray foam. Sometimes I had one actually recently that was spray foam. The Sturgis house, we re-roofed the historic Sturgis house, and it had complete spray foam insulation. Which, if it's completely spray foamed and then they drywalled over it in the attic, that is a cold roof system. I'm still learning. I'm newer to the industry, and my owner Adam put me through my paces in that regard. And he said, no, this is what's called a cold roof system. So it is common with spray foam to not have all those intake and outtake ventilations, because no air gets in, no air gets out. So usually you don't see a lot of those venting situations that they usually cover them up, I guess, if it's all spray foam covered, because nothing's going to get in, nothing's going to get out anyway. So.
Yeah, so
well, my thought is, if you need vents, is this like a big deal? You have to cut holes?
So typically not really. So Lamanco makes a new product called Deck Air that's really killer in the industry. It's about a slit about inch and a half, and on the 2 feet up from the eave on most houses. You have to be careful with the vaulted ceilings and all that kind of stuff. You have to make sure you put it in the right spots. And then it'll look like a little slit about 2 feet up, 2.5 feet up from the innermost wall of the house, not from the eave. So you want to go to the innermost wall, 2.5 feet up from there. And that's the sweet spot. And then that air will go in. It's a little plastic piece, and they cut it towards, it's like a triangle kind of, and it slides into that hole.
Oh, okay.
And then the shingles go over it. We put ice and water around that, so to make sure nothing gets in. And then that allows the air into the attic. And then whether you have ridge vent or just regular standard exhaust vents, it will go up and go out those exhaust vents. Yep.
I'm just asking these questions because it comes up a lot on inspections with the
and a lot of
vents.
people.
And I don't know if that some people are like whatever, and some people are like, oh no, like I need holes and vents, and it seems very like a really big deal. Yeah, so soffits. Some homes that are new construction will have soffits. Some will have, and then older homes. That's why with older homes, Deck Air is nice, because in previous code. The space decking is what it's called. A lot of the homes before the code was changed in Cheyenne are space decked on the whole roof. And so that's how they breathed before the code change. But when the code changes, we have to cover that whole roof with OSB, because the space decking isn't code anymore, but then we have to create a way for it to breathe. So that's where the Deck Air comes in, because cutting in soffits is more expensive. Typically crews charge more just for soffits because it's a little more invasive. And whereas Deck Air, I believe, is about $47 a piece. So it's a lot more cost effective, and it's one little slit, and then you put the shingles over it. So it's a new technology. I think it's within the last 4 years roughly. But it's very popular, and you'll see a lot of roofers using it. So
nice.
Did you use that on my house that you just did?
Nope, because you had soffits. You had your soffits
okay.
put in.
I don't know. I leave it to the experts on this.
Yeah.
We hired you to do the roof. I assumed you knew what you were doing, so I didn't ask.
Yeah, we looked at the plans, and I'm like, here's your soffits.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we just did ridge vent, and the ridge vent is the most aesthetically pleasing, I think.
It is. It does look awesome.
Yeah.
So I have a new build house that we have up north. It's going to come on market this week, and Jory and his crew came out and put the roof on for us, and I've never been so appreciative of sexy roofs. But it is a pretty roof.
It's a selling point.
It is, yeah. It's really.
What's so pretty about it?
Those shingles are gorgeous. The black. I can't remember. I just trusted Jory. I really believe in trusting the experts on this, and I knew he was the expert. So I just told him what color. He came and showed me some samples. We picked the color. Did it all, and then when I had questions on a couple things, it wasn't even really roof, but he came out and they fixed it anyway. It wasn't even them, but They did a great job, but it's pretty. I think they did just such a clean job.
What color's
on
the
it.
house?
The house is white.
White. Okay,
And
so
then
that's
we've
what I
got
thought.
a
Maybe with the
black roof on it,
Oh,
and those
pretty.
vents. It was like because my house I live in now was built in the '90s, and so you've got all those vents sticking up and everything. And this is so nice and clean.
Yeah.
Like,
You gotta love technology.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's basically an
Yeah.
inch on either side of the ridge.
Yeah.
And then Lamanco again makes this new ridge vent, and it's got baffles so snow won't get in, but it lets air out, and then shingles go over the top as well. And then so you'll just see a little higher setup on the ridge. But
Yeah,
no,
it
it
looks
looks
great.
great on new construction, and we always try to do it if we can. So sometimes you don't have enough real estate to do ridge vent, then you have to do the traditional vents. But Lamanco makes it all, so we can always get it taken care
That's
of.
great. Yeah, you did a great job.
We
really
appreciate it. So
Yeah.
appreciate your
Awesome.
trust in us.
Yes,
so.
absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, I'm the same way. You're the expert. You
Yeah.
do what you think
I
needs
love
to
when
be done.
people are like that. I have clients right now who that's how they were. They're like, just so you know, we just want you to tell us what you think we should do, and we will just go with it. And I'm like, that's how I am. I don't want
Yeah.
you to ask me a bunch of questions. Like, do you want this? Do you want this? I don't know.
I don't know
I
what
want
I want.
you to
Yeah.
do it. I want you to tell me
Right.
what I
Yeah.
need, and then I will.
Yeah, well, it's so funny because I did have questions. He's like, that was in the original packet we gave you. I'm like, oh, I have to go back. You already gave me all this information. I
It's
just
all
didn't
good.
look, but I've
It's
got
easier to ask,
I've got
right?
Jory. I can
Yeah.
text, right?
Well,
so I'm
and
a
you
little
both have an
spoiled.
example of our paperwork now,
Yes.
so that's another nice thing that we think sets us apart. Is just the guide to take you through the roofing process. So it's not just a stapled signed contract and move along. It's a guide, so still the homeowner or the builder still thinks that they're in charge and feels confident in the job that we're going to do.
Yeah. You did a great job.
So, what are some recommendations for anybody listening, especially with, we were just talking earlier about all the storms that have happened. They haven't been the big baseball size hail, which has been nice. It's been pretty small. But, we've had, we had Max from Burns Insurance, and of course Marlon from Affordable as well, just talking about really the importance of getting your roof inspected and kind of understanding how insurance companies work now. It's no longer that you can necessarily go 5 or 10 years with a damaged roof and think your insurance company is going to completely cover it. Times have changed. So what are your recommendations when you're talking to people about having their roof looked at?
I would always say encourage them to shop locally. There's a lot of great
Yes.
roofers in Cheyenne. That's the nice part about Cheyenne is somewhere along the line there was a handshake that usually leads to more business and more deals. Obviously, you're always going to have some door knockers come through your neighborhood. But like I said, we encourage you to shop locally because we're always going to be here. Marlon's going to be here. Dennis with Capital is going to be here. And Hayden. So best recommendation, we always want, when we contact a licensed roofing contractor, for sure, that's licensed in the area. And then get a few inspections because, we all have professional disagreements from time to time. Marlon and I have sat over coffee and discussed some differences we've had, and it's fine. We're still good friends and everything.
Shout out to
and,
Marlon.
Yeah, shout out to Marlon. Marlon's awesome. We love Marlon. And, but yeah, and everything's a case by case basis, obviously. But we want to make sure that the claim will be bought, that there's sufficient damage for a claim, and your canvassers. We don't door knock. I know Affordable doesn't door knock. Capital doesn't.
Thank
door knock.
you.
Yeah.
And so none of the local people really door knock that I know.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah.
And so you don't get that person that's going to say, "Oh, you need to file a claim," when they haven't even looked at your roof.
Right.
We definitely get up there and look at it. That's the thing I'd be most wary of, because claims, whether approved or denied, are always on your record, and insurance notices that. So if you have 3 claims in a row that are denied, one this year, one next year, and the year after that,
There's a pattern there. Yeah.
then insurance can drop you. Not always a guarantee, but
Raise your rates.
yeah, they can raise your deductible. They can try to drop you from that plan and get you on something different. So we just want it to always be a slam dunk. When we see damage that's sufficient to filing a claim, that's when my recommendation is, I would file a claim, which the one in Burns had the siding completely destroyed. Looked like you threw rocks at it for a whole day probably, and it was golf ball size hail. And it was a class 4 roof, but that class 4 legacy did have some damage, and it was noticeable new damage. So we just always want to make sure that when you file a claim that you're going to get it bought by the insurance, so that an approved claim and a legitimate claim is totally different than 3 denied claims in a row. So
this feels, sorry, I mean,
go ahead.
This kind of feels like our relationship with appraisers,
Yeah.
right? When we go to list a property, we have to be very careful to try and see where an appraiser is going to go with it, looking at the comps and stuff like that. So when you go in to do a look at a roof, you're looking at what an insurance adjuster is going to be looking at,
That's
right?
a great analogy.
So kind of the same relationship.
And the great
there.
part for us, we're fortunate. Our head salesman is a former insurance adjuster for farmers for 18 years.
Oh.
So he is a phenomenal resource. When I'm even in doubt, I will shoot him messages. I'll shoot our owner some photos and everything. What do you think? If I think it's borderline, I'll shoot him to him, and Aaron, he's like, yep, yes or no, and he'll put back on his adjuster hat. And then so we're fortunate to have Aaron on our team, so that's a great resource.
Yeah.
So, and he can say, this is exactly what the adjuster's probably going to say. So it's very helpful, honestly.
Yeah.
And how much do you charge for a roof inspection?
Complimentary.
So if you are a homeowner and you want to get some eyes on your roof and see if there's any damage,
And if you haven't in a while,
it's
might
probably a
want
good
to.
idea.
Yeah.
Yep, it's
Yep.
free from Green Top Roofing, and then I think too that people may worry sometimes that it's sort of like if you don't go to the doctor, there's
Yeah.
nothing ever wrong.
Yeah, what I don't know won't hurt me.
Hurt me.
Yeah,
That's exactly right.
absolutely.
But
Yeah.
really, a lot of times, and I think we see it in our transactions, how often is it a full roof repair versus,
Yeah.
how often is it just a roof repair versus a full replacement? It's usually a repair of some kind, right? And so just, I think, have some comfort in knowing that you're probably not looking at a full roof replacement unless it's been a long time. But if you do it regularly, do some upkeep, do the repairs,
Yeah.
you offer a great tune-up package,
Yep.
and if you know off the bat that you're hopefully going to be able to stay within that $650, that's it kind of gives you a number to shoot for in your head.
And then with that roof tune-up, though, that $650 is a credit to the customer. So when they do need a full roof replacement, we'll credit them $650 of work already done.
Oh,
So yeah, and if it runs up to about $1,000 to $2,000, if it needed a whole slope redone, we would credit them that as well. In a roof tune-up perspective. So
gotcha.
Yep.
Can I ask a roof question? Is like granular loss normal?
Yes. So
That's a great question.
yeah. So
We see a lot of that.
see that.
Well, because recently, like I'm just thinking, we got a trampoline for Christmas, and I didn't notice anything except for this summer. Now that we've been like outside on it, there's a few times where I'm like, it's all over the trampoline.
Yep.
And
So
I'm like,
depending on the shingle, but I mean, most every roof will have granular loss and wear and tear, and that's why we get up and inspect, because granular loss and wear and tear is not covered by insurance. That's just normal wear and tear. So yeah, you will lose granules over time. Certain shingles are better than others, but if you have a class 4 shingle on your roof, that's what we always install. We don't really, unless it's new construction, we pretty much only do class 4 roofs, because we just like to put the best product on the market from whatever manufacturer it's from on your roof, so it'll last the longest. Hopefully.
Yeah.
And you get a discount on your homeowner's premium.
Yeah.
With most insurance for a class 4 roof.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that is nice.
That's a good question.
I just wanted to make sure there wasn't something going wrong.
No. Sometimes.
Is it just the wind and the weather? And
So there is sometimes. I was just on a roof recently, about five houses down from mine, friends of ours, that definitely had a defect. It had waves in it, and it was a Malarkey Legacy. But every roofing shingle will have a bad batch every once in a while. It's very normal. I'd put a Malarkey Legacy on my house tomorrow. So, but yeah, it had You'll see waves in it. You'll just see stuff that's very, from our perspective, very not normal. And then there was cracking down the center of the shingle on multiple shingles, and it was the whole roof. So, in that regard, yes, sometimes the granular loss can be a defect. It just depends on the product and the manufacturer.
So on just a regular granular loss, that's something you guys can go in and fix spot areas, or do you have to?
Typically,
do a whole roof?
no. Those granulars are made at the manufacturer's factory, so there's
So
not.
if one's got it, they probably all have it.
They all will have a little bit of granular loss. Yeah, over time you'll lose some, and you'll find it in your gutters. But if you get up to your gutter, or like I said, a regularly scheduled roof, just looking inspection, yeah, if you see a ton of
Bare
granules
spots
where you
and-
could scoop it with your hand,
Yeah.
you might have a bigger issue. And then ventilation. That's another thing where
Yeah.
ventilation comes into play. If it's not properly ventilated, you'll shed
It can get hot.
you'll shed more granules because it just kind of dries it out internally, and then they'll start trickling off your roof more often. And I have a couple photos of that over time that I've seen that didn't have ventilation, and the back slope was just gone.
Oh.
So, and actually one of the commercial properties that I looked at for you was that way. The let's see, the west facing slope there wasn't many granules left. So
Yeah.
What kind of damage, if any, happens if somebody gets up on their roof every once in a while?
typically not really any damage. We try to wear shoes careful, and we
Okay.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. It's not
strategically
okay to walk
on
around
a
up
hot
there?
day. On a hot day, you can leave footprints. So we try to, because they're asphalt shingles, so you can leave a good footprint if it's a hot enough day.
Melty.
So I
soft.
asking for a friend.
Did Grant do something?
Well, he puts up Christmas lights every year, and he gets up. Not always. He tries to use the ladder as much as he can, but sometimes he has to get up on the roof.
Yeah,
to
you shouldn't do anything
Okay.
significant. Just doing
Okay,
that.
just curious.
Yeah,
Not in
no
trouble,
problem.
Grant. You're fine.
That's funny.
No, yeah, you'll be fine if you're just getting up there for a few minutes, especially in the winter when it's colder.
Cold.
But
Yeah, that's really
it's
the
really
only
on
time.
the south-facing slopes and stuff, and wherever the sun hits it at a certain part of the day, right on that one slope. Yeah, we have left footprints before that we've fixed and replaced.
So I think the reason why I was thinking that is when we sold our house in Gillette, we did have to replace our roof. There had been, I mean, it makes sense. There was some major hailstorms that had come through in the year or two leading up to us leaving. But anyway, they, on the roof report, they made the comment of shoe marks on the shingles.
Interesting. I've never seen that on all
Yeah.
the inspection reports.
But
I haven't either. I didn't know that was a thing.
yeah, but my husband wasn't up there in the summertime, so I mean, it literally is a Christmas light situation every year that he was up there. Not that I'm really advocating for people to get up on their roofs and put up Christmas lights, because people die from that. Like literally, people fall and die from putting up Christmas lights.
I got the Govee lights, so
I need
want
those.
really bad.
you don't. They just stay up there.
Yeah, my girlfriend volunteered me for that now, so
Ah.
I'll be doing Christmas lights for 3 houses, which is fine.
My husband says
okay.
no. He says no. He's not even gonna do it. So our option's gonna be getting
Govee.
those. Yeah.
It's nice because then you can use it for other holidays.
Yeah,
right?
we have them
Yeah.
on. We have them on all the time.
Yeah.
Turn
That's
colors,
awesome.
right?
Yeah,
that's
that's
awesome.
cool.
Awesome.
Cool.
Was there
really
anything else you feel like our listeners should know about
I'll
roofs
just-
or transactions?
Yeah, so we personally are getting ready to put our house on the market in the next couple months, and we had a new roof put on in 2020, and I called you and said, "Can you do a roof inspection on this house?" Didn't tell him it was mine because I didn't want to, any of this. So he didn't. He went out. and
No
looked.
pressure.
No pressure on that, right? But I think as a seller on a property, it's nice to have that already taken care of.
Yes.
Because it is going to come up on almost every contract,
Yeah.
any offer that we get, right? So to already know that we've got a good roof inspection by a somebody who's certified to do that is really kind of a nice. And then when I take buyers into houses, it's really nice to already have that in place when a seller puts that
It's
in their
one less
listing.
surprise
One
that
less
we don't
surprise.
need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've kind of in the last year or two with my listings kind of gone that direction, especially now that I have such a great contact with Jory. It's so easy. I send him a list of addresses and he just gets them done it's so great. I don't even have to worry about it. He gets them taken care of. So maybe I'm a little spoiled, but it's been a really, really great partnership, and it helps me with my listings. And then, like I said, as a seller myself, that's just one less thing. It's so great to have it taken care of. So
Yep,
Appreciate
chronological order. We do them in chronological order. As soon as they come in, I just add them to my list, and we try to get them done in a timely manner.
I'm going to use this to pitch that this is why I think it's a good idea for people to use realtors
for sure.
in their transactions. And there's a million reasons, but Lindee and I, whenever we see them, we bring them up. But in this case, like, we have those relationships already built. You two have a relationship together. If somebody works with you, then they can be confident in knowing that you have those relationships just to make sure it's as smooth as possible. And same for Lindee and I. So it's that's one of the benefits, is that we work with a lot of contractors. We know who's going to do a good job. We know who's going to do it in a timely fashion.
Yep.
We know all of those things. And so we can really help make the process as smooth as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
and we also talk about the fact that, even amongst us realtors here in Wyoming, it's really great because we actually do get to have relationships with each other.
Absolutely.
There's realtor communities in other states where that's not a thing. You don't form relationships necessarily with other realtors, but the fact that we do get to see each other at Friday.
I mean,
on the
we're having
plaza
a
or wherever.
picnic tonight.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
Really?
right.
Picnic.
Yeah. Where we all get to see
And
each
the
other.
affiliates,
And it does make the transaction go smoother if we get along and we know each other and we have worked together before. And so it just is, it's one of those blessings that we have here in Cheyenne,
absolutely.
right?
And I think in my experience, I've been very pleased with everyone I work with. You know, I just have, I feel like, good relationships with everybody, and it's just really nice to be able to work like that.
Yes,
Absolutely.
it is. It makes for a better work environment for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and it's better for everybody. It's
Yes.
better for sellers and buyers because it's a
Yes.
win-win. We want to make sure everybody wins on these transactions, so it's good.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And we do have the exclusive lifetime workmanship warranty, though, as well, that we did launch in January. I better mention that.
Yeah, mention that.
So, yeah, we used to be a 10-year workmanship and now lifetime workmanship on every residential re-roof that we do. We're still 10-year workmanship on all of our commercial properties. So,
Wonderful.
yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, in wrapping up, the question I have for each of you is, what is your favorite thing about Cheyenne?
Man, that's tough.
That is tough.
That's tough.
It's the wind, isn't it?
The wind and I have become one.
Yeah.
We are friends.
That's
Your white hat.
That's what I always joke about.
Bucket hat.
I was like, you know,
just have
if
to
it's
become one
over,
with it.
if it's over 35 mile an hour, then it gets a little interesting depending on the roof. But you just kind of get used to it over time.
You
and, do. But I would probably say the local relationships and the local events is what I like the most about Cheyenne. It's pretty big city for having the small town feel that it has. So yeah, and meeting bankers, realtors, mortgage brokers, whoever it may be, I just feel like we're all pretty well connected with each other and care about one another and all have the same goal in mind when we come to work every day. So.
I love that. Well, and I love too, because I said we travel quite a bit, but I love when I meet somebody from Wyoming. And it only takes, what's that, 7 degrees of separation? I'm like, it's like 2. You're from where? Oh, do you know so-and-so? Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it's not even just Cheyenne, it's Wyoming, which is fabulous. But I agree. I think the people in Cheyenne are just awesome. I feel like I've always been here. I know we've been here 20 years, 21, 22 years now, but just family. It just feels like it's a safe place. And I know when we come back in from being out of town, I just feel so good. Just is such a nice feeling to come back home and be here. Yeah, it's just, I know we have a crazy, business and life is kind of crazy, but it's still, compared to everywhere else, it's just such a nice, peaceful place to live with such great connections and people here. So I love it.
I think one thing that people always, especially our out-of-staters, when we ask them that question, they're always like, oh, we just love the traffic here. And it's funny because people that live here don't like the traffic. But I do, to speak to what you're saying about peace. Yeah. Like, you drive into your neighborhood and there's peace there. Yeah. You don't have a million cars on the road next to your neighborhood. I mean, Del Range is definitely busy and Pershing, but for the most part, anywhere you live in Cheyenne, you can drive into your neighborhood and you got peace there, and it's just very nice.
And when you're out showing houses, don't you drive in and people wave to you as you drive in everywhere? Every neighborhood you go in, I'm just like, I love it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
I love it.
Okay, my question is, money's no object. So you're just rich, okay?
That would be awesome. I can dream. Okay. Go ahead.
So if you could buy real estate anywhere in the world, where would it be and why, and what would it be?
That one's, I know where I'd go if I could, anywhere in the world.
You can go first.
So we took a cruise this last year to the Mediterranean and did Italy and Greece. And somewhere along the coast, probably Greece, if I could afford. But I want to be, if money was no object, I would want to be right on the sandy beach in my beautiful home.
In Greece.
Oh. It's funny you say that. Because I've seen pictures of Greece. I haven't been there yet. Sicily as well.
Oh, Sicily's
that's
beautiful
gorgeous.
too.
So Sicily probably be mine. I don't know. I've seen a lot of pictures. I plan on traveling there one of these days. But
you should. It's amazing.
Yeah, because living right off the ocean, that'd be pretty cool, I think, too. So.
Yep.
I think this
sounds
is
amazing.
the second time we've heard Greece. Didn't we just hear Greece recently?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was so fun because I was at a real estate convention, RE/MAX, in February in Las Vegas, and I met an agent from Greece. I was like, oh, one step closer. She's in my phone. She's in contact now. I'm like, well, let's keep in touch. But oh yeah,
Let me know on that Airbnb.
I will.
Well, buying internationally is a whole other.
Yes.
We had Misty on here talking about what it was like if you get a chance, and to sit and listen to her episode and talk about what it's like to purchase internationally. It is something. It is a different ball game. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you're going to be rich, so it's fine.
It's not going to matter. Yeah, it's cash. It's cash.
Well, I'm in Greece with all the updated amenities,
right.
So that's kind of nice.
Sure.
Right? Yeah. I have the money, I can afford it. So.
Yeah, that's right. Well, thank you both so much for coming on. This has been fun.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. And for all of our listeners, as you know, Lindee and I are realtors here at Peak Properties. So if you're looking to buy or sell, we'd love to help you with that. You can find us at www.sellcheyenne.com and Beyond the Front Door podcast on YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts, as well as Alexa. And make sure and hit the subscribe button. And I didn't ask you guys really quickly.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Green Top Roofing is greentopRoofing. Or what's your website?
www.greentoproofing.com. And then on Facebook, Green Top Roofing Wyoming is our Wyoming division.
Okay. So, And then Rebecca, how do people find you if they want to reach out to you?
So Remax Capital Properties here in town. My website is Rebecca at Cheyenne Homes. Homestore.com, so you can look on that. But you can probably find me anywhere.
Anywhere. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just Google names,
Google,
right?
You'll find me.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we hope you all have a really wonderful day and a good July, because it'll be July. All right.
Thank you.
Yep.